The great 1v1 between 2377 and 1960 is over already? Let's take a look at what happened in this Zone 5 that led to it finishing as soon as it did. Hey everyone, it's Akina, back with another Rise of Kingdoms video. As you've probably been watching over the past few days, 2377 has been locked in war versus 1960 in their Zone 5 together in Nevers. It was the long-awaited fight between the two biggest and most powerful alliances in Rise of Kingdoms, and it did not disappoint, at least from the 2377 side. But what happened? Why did 1960 leadership already send out a mail informing their members that this zone is lost after 3 days of fighting? If you are enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Each one does mean a lot, so thank you so much in advance for that. But yeah, let's break down what happened in this war that led to the situation that you can see now in front of you on the map. So on Friday, 1446 UTC, the pass is opened for the first time. And this is where it started to go a bit down for 1960. I've heard rumours, I wasn't watching myself because I was so focused on the 2377 pass swarm, that one of 1960 swarmers disconnected right before they were supposed to swarm. Now, naturally that's going to delay your pass swarm. I think I heard numbers in the range of 8 to 10 seconds delay. The total delay that I was told was around 26 seconds that 2377 took the pass before 1960. In a zone this big, where territory is such a significant advantage, that's very, very challenging to recover from. It's not just a couple of seconds. That allows all of 2377 to get their territory down, and not just get down, but also get their marches in a better, more advanced position to fill that territory to build before 1960 can. The only part, as 606 leader at the same time, the only part that I had to do in any of the 2377 planning was the pass swarm. And I'm immensely proud of how it went. A lot of effort went into the pass swarm planning, and yeah, I couldn't have been happier at how it was executed, and the 2377 team did immense at executing the plan. Now, I don't know what the time difference would have been if 1960's player actually hit the pass when they were supposed to. My personal opinion is they still would have been behind 2377 because both passes from 2377 were taken before anyone else on the map. And then from there, the building war started. Forts went down near this level 5 pass, up top at the top level 5 pass, all in the middle, and then the flag lines had so much disruption happening to them. Players were random teleporting on both sides trying to disrupt the flag builders. 1960 and 2377 were both dropping AFs onto the others building line to disrupt them, to make it less efficient, to delay as much as possible. And with all due respect to 1960, they really did a good job at disrupting 2377's building. Every second you could see another fort being dropped to delay, or marches in the way or field to push them away from a flag build, just to stall, because every second counts. You only have 1 hour of skillful craftsmen to be able to make the difference. But in the end, a big turning point was when 1960 had reached this corner here, and back then they were touching a 2377 building AF. That was building, I'd probably say it had about an hour left on it at least. But it didn't go down. 2377 did mobilize a lot of field there to protect it. But from my personal point of view, I was quite surprised that 960 weren't able to bring it down. And then from there, it might have even been this AF. I can't recall exactly because so many AFs were placed and deleted in this zone. It's hard to recall. But from there, when 2377 managed to keep that up, that felt like a huge morale boost. And 960's entire efforts were focused around this bottom area, and you could say around this Heron, and trying to push towards this southern level 5 pass, because we saw before the map opened, and even now, the territory advantage is so in favour of 1960. They can flag faster to that level 5 pass than 2377 can. But yeah, the opening really hurt 1960. They let 2377 get ahead partly due to the pass swarm, partly due to execution and playing the objective. 2377 got their structures built faster. And then all of the forts around this region were all killed by 2377. So 1960 had no territory in this southern area, and they fort walled, as you can see from what's left of it, around the river, using the river to defend the top side, and then the fort wall on the bottom side, almost like an oval. And they were actually behind and surrounding this heron. And I thought they were going to defend those forts and make sure that that heron didn't go down, forcing 2370 to go through it. But that wasn't the case. The leadership team of 1960 decided to focus elsewhere. There were some pushes from 1916, not significant ones, but a few. In particular, there was some in this region, and it was very difficult to break 1960 at times. When they had all of their field online, it was very strong. And you can see from the kill points, 1960 did outkill 2377. Slightly, but they did. As we all know, even in arc matches, having more kills means nothing if you're not playing objective. This isn't a video at all to bash 1960. I think they've been incredible and so difficult to fight on the field. But I think a real killer for them was when these two forts got completed. 2377 did disrupt the build line, but I don't think 960 at all considered that they wouldn't get this pass. I think they felt that that was a given. They were going to get this pass no matter what, because it was just, I mean, look at the distance between 2377's pass and this up here. There was no right for 2377 to take this, but they did. And then 1960, at this point, looked a bit lost. There were some marches fighting up here, some fighting down here, some fighting over here, but the order just didn't seem there. Like, they didn't know what was the priority, what did they need to get. From my point of view, if it were me, you have to secure a pass. Like, okay, there's herons in the zone, but in Orleans, getting a pass is a huge win, especially as Kingsland only has 2 passes at the end of the day. So you want to put yourself in as good a position as possible to be able to get to those passes before your enemy. Because if you can stop them from getting to Kingsland, man, that's just massive. That felt like a real kick in the teeth for 1960, and since then, 2377 opened up so many touch points for 1960. There were teams working around this area to try and build and burn 1960. They almost tried to cut them off from their pass at one point, from their wall jump. And it was like, no matter where 1960 was, 2377 had a team elsewhere also burning consistently. And after a while, that chipping away at territory, little bit after little bit, it does become a bit suffocating. And as good as 1960's field is, when they're in this situation, what really are they going to try and do? They could try and push to one of the passes, or could try and break through territory. But at the end of the day, they're going to have to go through forts, and it's going to cost them a lot. I mean, I don't doubt 960's ability to do it. I feel like if they really wanted to, they probably could push in a direction and make some progress. But it would probably be at the detriment to their future success in this KVK. It was definitely a Zone 5 to remember, and I think 2377's leadership did absolutely incredible. Props goes to Shark. I know he's barely slept at all this entire Zone 5. Did an absolutely fantastic job with his team planning all of this. I really don't think it could have gone much better for 2377. So I think they deserve this. They really did well. And also respect to 1960 for the fights, because to be part of this war really was a privilege. So props go out to both sides there. Despite what happened in this Zone 5, it's definitely not over. 93 is doing a good job versus 365, while 365 has its defenses set up. The next zone will be crucial, and we can get a better indication of who's going to win the KVK after the next zone, not this zone. But that's just a quick summary over how this Zone 5 went. What's going to happen next zone? Well, when 960 eventually pull out, I think all attention turns to these 2 level 6 passes, and the entry of the top camp with 3 A kingdoms, and the bottom camp with my very own 1606 and 2975 entering the fight. Now, 1093 have said a few things about 1606 that I have found a little bit disrespectful, to be honest. So I'm very fired up for this next zone. Probably more fired up than I was before the 1960 fight. I'm really looking forward to be able to go head to head with them, whether that's 93 or whether that's 1960, whoever it is. I think it's going to be a great fight, and these zone 6s will be incredible. We have still a good amount of time until zone 6 opens. I think it's around 9 days or so from the time of this video, and a lot can change. Who knows, will 365 keep hold of this pass? Will 93 push them off? We don't know yet. Now, I can't comment too much over which way I think 606 will go, which way I think the top 3 kingdoms will go. It really depends on what happens over these next few days. Need to talk to the planning team of all kingdoms and get together and decide what will be the most effective way to move forward in this KVK. But I think we're in a really great position. What's super important now, though, and as I know this is a bit cliche, but is just being humble. Obviously, we can celebrate the win from the 2377 side in this Zone 5 alone, but it's a small win in a big KVK. It helps, but it's not the final picture. 960 could come roaring back. We can only see what happens in the next zone. But I hope you've been enjoying watching this KVK. It's only just the start still. It's crazy to think. We have 2 incredible zones coming up, and still these 2 fighting, 365 and 93 fighting in that left zone. So keep an eye out on those 2, keep watching what they're doing, see what's going to happen in that zone. Lots of fun to come. So thank you for tuning in, hearing this out. If you are enjoying the content, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you all next time.